Hey guys, as many of you might have guessed, my demo is going to be code related. I'm going to go through basically a speed run of 43 projects of the 90 total that I thought were kind of cool and that I worked on. First, I hacked the University of Washington. I made an app for my high school. I hacked into my districts and multiple districts grading databases. Other kids around my district wanted to build apps of their own, so I built a REST API for actually accessing the grades. I made a synchronous video player for being able to watch videos or like highlights of games together with friends. I was a sore loser at Hangman, so I built a probabilistic brute forcer. I was a sore loser at balls, and so I made a offline physics engine and basically a brute forcer for finding the optimal swipe angle. I always thought lead typer was cool, but you couldn't use your own code, so I made a version that did. I taking all the grades of all the students in my high school. I built a really cool sort of visualization using embeddings and dimensionality reduction to basically just find clusters of students, and I just thought it was really cool. Security cameras often automatically upload to FTP servers, so I built an FTP server that actually runs machine learning on the uploaded images, so you can get sort of object detection out of the box. My teacher in high school said if I beat his Connect 4 agent, I would get an A for the year, so I built a version that did. I always thought it was interesting that you could predict like matchmaking ranks using statistics. So I used machine learning here to basically take someone's like KD and other in-game statistics to predict what their actual rank in like multiplayer should be. In debate, I always found it was kind of hard to like use a Google Doc for like doing very like complicated like referencing and stuff. So I built my own sort of markdown for debate cases. I thought it was really interesting to use GPT to actually learn how to write bills, and so you can basically plug in your own custom prompt and it would actually write a formal bill for you. For economics fair, I built a cryptocurrency for my high school. Unfortunately, no one knew what a cryptocurrency at the time was, but I like to think it was ahead of its time. I then built a app not just for my high school but for my entire district, and then I put ads on it and was able to monetize quite a bit. I was getting really into investing, so I built an API for the undocumented Robinhood REST API. I then came to college and then realized they didn't have an app, so I made an app for UT. And don't ask the UT CISO, or at least I hope the UT CISO doesn't find out how I do the login system on this. I thought it'd be really cool to build an interesting sort of off-internet remote security system. So I built this Raspberry Pi Wi-Fi mesh security system, and it actually runs like MobileNet, so it can do like really cool like object detection. One of my classes in high school was purely plugging things into calculator, so I learned TIGCC and then basically plugged in the entire class into the calculator. I always thought the Minecraft in-game was kind of boring, so I built a version that basically allows you to take your items and invest them in meme stocks. I was really interested in sort of computer-human interaction at some point, so I built a convolutional voice activity detector. I always thought it was interesting to have like different like voice types or like voice embeddings, so I used Siamese convolutional networks here to actually like identify like the different kinds of voices and kind of create cool visualizations. All the Connect APIs for Python were kind of slow, so I built a custom like high-performance one. I passionately hate React Redux, and so I built my own version of Shredux. You could probably have seen a lot of GANs in sort of creating fake images and like editing fake images, but I was able to sort of invert them and be able to take real images, put them in the GAN space, and then do cool edits there. This is really common now, but like back then, like that was like a very cool thing. It always bothered me how like translations are like so different by like different people. So I built a AI that would basically passive aggressively show you how bad translations are for one of my classes. I always thought it was interesting if I could build a continuous scale for how related an article and a stock are. So I built and sort of wrote a paper on relevance adjusted sentiment. So you can kind of compute a continuous score of how relevant sentiment is to an article. Then was getting into TD Ameritrade rather than Robinhood, so I built an API for that. During the turmoil of 2020, I always thought it was kind of weird that like if you're recording, someone can just like sort of break your phone and then you like lose your recording. So I built a version that basically automatically uploads as you're recording. So like even if something happens, like you can get a backup of it, like emailed to you or other contacts. I then hacked a local UT startup. This is why I hate Firebase, and they didn't set up their permissions correctly. and now I'm an admin now. I always thought it'd be cool to like be able to SSH into multiple machines at the exact same time, so I built a tool for that. One of my research projects at UT was to try to use Venmo for contact tracing, and sure enough, it works better than you think. I didn't like having to pay for the Ngrok Pro plan, and there are some limitations, so I sort of built my own. For Halloween, someone jokingly said I should come as a hacker and come and hack their computers, and so I did. High-speed internet was a bit of a pain in rural Indiana, so I found sort of what's called a workaround for getting unlimited high-speed internet. I really like GoLinks when I worked at Stripe, and so I built my own sort of personal version that synced across my devices. One of the restaurants near me burned down, unfortunately, and so I built a website to track its status. Is halalbrosopen.com. I was interested in alternative market investments. You can sort of think of NFTs, and so I did sort of an analysis of the Steam market. For those who are familiar, it's like a video game thing. And yeah, it turns out my investment in this is still outperforming my Robinhood and my TD Ameritrade, ironically. I also thought it'd be interesting to predict sports matches, like machine learning for sort of predicting the outcome of games. And honestly, this works really well for the data scientists out there. Although sports betting is currently illegal in the United States, so had to drop this. When I came to Abnormal, I was so annoyed with writing notebooks imports, and so I built a tool for doing this. Also, I felt like we didn't have a really good way to export metrics to like Google Sheets, so I built a thing for that. And my current project is to predict the market using machine learning. Super secret sauce, using a lot of cool machine learning algorithms, but honestly haven't made any money yet. But this is basically what I've been working on for like the past few months.